A robotics special. Is Alexa always listening? A lot of tech hacks. I'm smiling, but I'm not only smiling because of this action-packed show, but also because we're back in the Tech Today studio here in Mumbai. We were in the US for a while and we covered a lot of cool things. You've seen them on the Business Today and India Today social media and digital handles, but now this is the finale on our show. My name is Ayush Alavadi. You are watching your favorite technology show, Tech Today. Let's begin. I want to start off today's show with a question. When you look at a robot, especially in a YouTube video or an Instagram reel, what goes on in your mind? Is it that this is just a cute little monster with no real use case? Is this a gimmick? Is this a game changer? Something that can actually make your life a whole lot easier. Now, I met a bunch of robots over the past couple of weeks here in India and of course in the US as well. And I found a few of them very, very useful. Some of them were cute as well, but some of them were very useful. I also spoke to the experts, especially at Amazon Robotics and a bunch of other experts, and asked them, is there a genuine threat from robots or do they make our lives a whole lot easier? And will they one day take my job away? Here's what they had to say. A lot of people will lose jobs when we're talking about robots becoming a lot more ubiquitous and a lot more adoption in that space. And then the other side talks about how this can really augment what already exists. Where does Ty Brady stand on either end of that argument?
I stand with our data. And our data shows that we've added more than 520,000 drive units to our fulfillment centers. And in that period, we've created more than 1 million new jobs, right? So more robots, more jobs. Now, robotics has to be done right. It has to be done in a way that enables human capability, that extends human reach. And this is where we focus on making our robotics easier and safer for our employees to use. And when done right, that actually helps create jobs. And that's what we've seen inside of Amazon. But it has to be done right. It's not a humans versus machine type of relationship. Hardly. The way that we frame our relationship with machines is it's humans and machines working together to create a symphony of amazing work to be done.
This is a robotic dog from Boston Dynamics, and he and I seem to be getting along quite well. Right, Spot? Like I said, my cute friend Spot is like a lot of the robots here, but then he's no ordinary robot either. He can do a lot of cool things and has very interesting use cases. Spot, hundreds, maybe 1,000 of them have sold already here in the US, and it's not a cheap robot. It costs $100,000 for an enterprise edition. It essentially works on these 4 legs, and whilst it's working on these 4 legs, it perceives the area around it. It's got 5 camera sensors, which are controlled by the joystick I was using earlier. It took me half an hour to understand how it works, and maybe I can become a Spot driver or a controller in the future. But this has a lot of use cases. Think about it. Robots like this, with capabilities like this, you can put it on a dock and charge it, right? In an hour, you'll have a decent amount of charge to get you going. And once it's done, you can take this to places where human beings can't go, or things that human beings can't do. Send it to construction sites, work in the mining space. That's what Spot can do. It's yellow colored, and I've heard that a lot of customers have taken Spot and then colored it and customized it the way they want it. They'd have to be very careful whilst doing that because it's full of technology all over it, right? You have sensors all over. It can essentially map everything that it sees, scale a mountain as long as the battery lasts, get into all sorts of construction sites where there's debris, climb steps. Yes, Spot is fantastic at climbing steps. We've seen it do it a lot out here at this conference as well, and it's quite a crowd puller at that too, right? Everyone wants a photo with Spot. He's quite a popular guy. Yeah, Spot, thank you so much. He seems to like me, like I said. Maybe he seems to like getting featured on Tech Today. Look, Spot is the sort of technology that we like to showcase in terms of innovation on Tech Today. For the past 2 years, we've been seeing it from afar, but today we wanted to spend the day with Spot, bring this Boston Dynamics robot to you on Tech Today, and let us know what you think of Spot. For now, I'm going to chill with him a little bit more, and maybe Spot, do you want to get something to eat? Let's do that. I'll see you soon. What kind of fields and sectors are we seeing people actually spending $100,000? That's a lot of money on a robot, but this is no ordinary robot. What fields and what sectors are we seeing customers coming for?
We've seen Spot being used in a wide range of fields. So there's the academic field where we open Spot up through an API and allow universities around the world to be able to develop their own platforms and their own innovations on top of this robot. So it's a really great platform for research and innovation that you're going to see years down the road. Some of the innovations that are being developed on this robot today are just going to come to light years from now from some of the great universities using this solution. Commercial applications, Spot is in manufacturing facilities, it's in energy plants, anywhere where equipment needs to be monitored and assessed for its overall equipment health, right? So, when you think about, yes, it's a six-figure investment for a robot, but it is substantially more than that when a piece of equipment is going to fail, or better yet, provide maintenance, proactive maintenance on that equipment to prevent it from failing. You've saved as much for the robot and then some. Savings become astronomical at that point. So it becomes an investment for companies who want to make sure that they don't have unexpected failures that are far more costly than the robot is.
Now, working on tech today is a lot of fun, but there's also a lot of travel, and we come to a lot of conferences like this all over the world. We're here right now in Las Vegas, and I've been carrying this bag around with me. We also have a camera bag, a backpack. There's a lot of work, and there's a lot of majdoori as well. How can we use technology to make our lives easier? Well, this is the Piaggio Zita Mini. And this can make your life a lot easier if you're at a tech conference. What it essentially does is you can keep your bag in it. Then it has a sensor package right over here, which comes with an RGB camera. It has sensors which let it know where the owner of that bag is. I press this button, and you know what? My bag's out there, and now I'm on my way. It's going to follow me around as I walk and check out all the stalls at this conference. And this is the sort of tech that makes your life a whole lot easier. The Piaggio is right here. You press the button and take your bag, and you're on your way. For more such content, stay tuned to Tech Today. Oh, you're shooting. Well, let me stop this bike. This is the wheel bike, no ordinary bike. It looks kind of cool. It's here in Las Vegas, but you will be able to get this maybe sometime later only in Seattle. It is a prototype, and we love focusing on innovative products here on Tech Today. And this is a special electric experience. This electric bike can go up to 20 miles per hour, and on a single charge, well, you can get nearly 20-30 miles on this bike. Depends on how you ride it, of course, like any other electric vehicle. But what makes this kind of interesting is one feature which I think is a USP. For a lot of people who don't know how to ride a bike or struggle to, or have issues riding a bike, this one has a self-balancing feature, which I tried out. It takes some time to get used to, but it is fascinating if it finally ends up working. And if it works for you, I think that's a great feature. It has an electric brake right over here. I'll tell you how to get into that self-balancing feature. There's a button, there's a couple of buttons here. You flick the lower button when you're past 2 miles per hour, and this bike will then go into self-balancing mode. Another thing I want to tell you about the bike is that it is quite interesting in terms of what the app looks like. Now, this app is, of course, still work in progress, but even then, it's quite impressive. If you enter a location that you want to go to in the maps, this bike and this app will tell you how much charge you'd require to get there. And I think that is an interesting proposition. Now, you also have a dashboard which tells you everything about the bike, whether you have no hands, one hand. I think it's a cool concept. And I think, of course, when people will start riding stuff like this, it'll be interesting to see how a lot of people back home would respond to this, because this seems compact. It seems kind of cool. You work a little more on the design, and we have a winner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ride around Las Vegas in this and maybe hope to get it to the Tech Today studio very soon. Until then, well, see you soon. Now, from all the robots that we met in the US and even the Cyber Dog by Xiaomi that we met here in India, this, the Vegeta Mini, was something, not only is it a really cute robot, but also something which I think has a very strong use case. At the end of the day, if you have a robot carrier which can take your cargo and follow you around, and hopefully not get stolen along the way. There were a lot of interesting features on the app as well, which I didn't necessarily cover in a short video, but I think there's a solid use case. If this becomes affordable, this would be the first robot that I would pick up. Now, there's a lot more coverage from our travels around the world on the Business Today and India Today social media handles, and if you prefer reading your content, then on our website, and of course in the Business Today magazine, because this is a place where all things cool happen as well, and Tech Today is available as a bunch of pages here in the magazine as well. Now, a very interesting conversation that we actually had whilst we were in Las Vegas was with the Chief Scientist and SVP at Amazon Alexa, Rohit Prasad, and I had a bunch of questions. Now, we have a bunch of Echo Show devices over here, so are they always listening? Also, what are the privacy and security features that a company like Amazon has? What do they do with our data? And of course, who's the smartest assistant out there? Well, let's find out what he had to say. On the show today, we have a very special guest, Rohit Prasad of Amazon Alexa, the man who really understands what makes Alexa a very smart assistant. But now that's going to be my first question to you, Rohit. Firstly, thanks so much for joining us on the show.
You.
And what I really want to understand is, in the battle of voice assistants, from a consumer tech standpoint, everyone looks at Siri, Google Assistant, and Alexa. Alexa seems like the smartest of the lot. But first question to you is it the smartest of the lot?
So we in Amazon focus on customers, less so on competition. The competition to just inspire us here, our customers need a lot from us and Alexa, and we are focused on that. And from that perspective, it's a privilege to have billions of requests issued to Alexa every day from hundreds of millions of devices. It's in 70 plus countries, 17 languages. Of course, as you know, it's in Hindi, which makes me very proud because my heritage is there. So I love the fact that we have so many engaged customers, and that's what we measure. Like, are we satisfying our customers' need? Of course, Alexa's AI is one of the most sophisticated systems in terms of the complexity that it has, because to what seems simple with Alexa is actually quite complicated. When you just ask it to play, tell you the weather or play a song, you assume a lot of things that is very hard for the AI to know. And we make it super simple because of its intelligence. That's what I work on every day. And we have a lot to do here in this space.
So, all right, you know, what they say is what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So we'll still say Alexa's the smartest of the lot. And, you know, in terms of the AI sounding a lot more like a human, in India, something very interesting is a localization play with the way Alexa understands Hinglish, gives you these really interesting responses like, you know, eating dal chawal every day, or Gabbar and Shah Rukh Khan, and also an Amitabh Bachchan voiceover. Are these things the Alexa team works on at the global level to understand how they can crack other markets?
Absolutely. I would say less so about in the way of we don't view it as markets per se, but more about that your personal assistant, advisor, and companion needs to have that natural voice. And because it's personal to you, you may want a lot of customization to it. So I'm a huge Amitabh fan, and I grew up with idolizing him. So his voice is just like amazing voice to have. And when we had the opportunity to work with him, that was awesome. And I have that voice. And I'm saying many of that, but there is a lot of things that we are working on, which is to make the voice be easily customizable to what you want, right? And we are doing that with a lot of markups that you can change the emphasis on the voice, or we have Santa voice, or we have the Amitabh voice, as you mentioned. But this is a huge area of research. Like today, I announced a capability where we can actually generate any personal voice. Like if I would love to have my mom's voice. So that's the kind of capability we announced today as well, that we have the capability in the lab where with just 1 minute of audio, we can generate a very natural voice for anyone.
You know, Rohit, we've been talking so much about Alexa devices being ubiquitous. They're always learning, listening, and now even seeing and following you around in the form of Astro. Now, for the viewers and, you know, tech enthusiasts watching, we started off talking about privacy and security, but there are always concerns when people read media reports saying, you know, Echo devices are logging all of our conversations. But how do you respond to that in terms of placating some of those concerns?
Absolutely. As you said, privacy is paramount to us. the data security is, we take everything on protecting your data and your privacy very strongly, as we should, because we want to be that trusted service. And for that perspective, I think one thing, if you look at all our decisions, we talked briefly about how when you speak the wake word Alexa, then the light ring comes on, right? When you actually start the conversation, you have to say the word Alexa. And it only listens when it's confident that you have heard the word Alexa on the device, then only starts streaming to the cloud. So that's one set of features. And then you can even go and look up all the data that Alexa has heard you say, and through your companion application or go to the website, all that data is available to you. But we also know that some people will be concerned. So you can opt out of data collection, or you can opt out of human review of the data. So there's more control for you, because we want you to be comfortable with this service. I have 20 plus Alexa devices in my home.
Wow.
So, and of course I have a lot of private conversations, a lot of critical conversations. So of course I'm also a customer, right? So so we want the same kind of controls in your hands as you being the customer. And we are also brought in the convenience of voice to managing your data.
Right.
You can say, Alexa, delete what you heard me say today, right? So that is, those are the kind of controls we want, and hopefully our customers will continue to trust us with this.
Fascinating, technological, scientific insights from the man at Amazon Alexa. Thank you so much, Rohit, for joining us. Well, so much talk of privacy and security. Now we at Tech Today believe in giving you innovative solutions so that you can keep your privacy and security intact. In the second half of the show, we're going to tell you all about it. But until then, we'll take a short commercial break.
Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today, for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now.
Shinzo Abe's tragic assassination has shaken the entire world. The former Japanese Prime Minister was shot dead by a 41-year-old man during an election speech. Shinzo Abe came from a powerful family that has been in politics for decades. His grandfather served as a prime minister between 1957 and 1960, and Abe's father served as a foreign minister. He attended the Seke Elementary School and Seke Junior and Senior High School. He studied public administration and graduated with a bachelor's degree in political science from Seke University in 1977. He studied public policy at the University of Southern California School of Policy Planning and Development, now the USC Price School of Public Policy, for 3 semesters in the United States. He served as Japan's Prime Minister for 2 tenures, first from 2000.
Welcome back to Tech Today. I'm your host Ayush Elavadi. Now, if you're talking about privacy and security, then we at Tech Today want to come up with innovative solutions or tech jugaad to make your life a whole lot easier. That's why my colleague Shivan has come up with a very cool solution by which you can give your phone to someone to use without making it an awkward situation, but ensuring that your privacy is intact. Have a look.
Have you ever hesitated handing your phone over to someone? Because you just know that after the person is done using your phone to make a call or whatever they've asked you for, they are going to peep into your phone, into other apps which you don't want them to see. Here is a hack with which you'll be able to ensure that whoever you hand your phone to, they will not be able to see anything beyond what you want them to see. Here's how you go about it. So first we'll begin with Android users because this hack is available for both Android as well as iOS, but the techniques are different. So first thing what you do is you take your device and you go to settings. Once you're in the settings, you need to go to security. In security, you scroll down and you will find this option of app pinning. Now app pinning, first of all, you need to switch it on, and at the same time also ensure that the pinning range ensures that you pin this page and disallow actions. Basically, that means you need to choose this option so that nobody is able to navigate further beyond the app that you want them to see. Now, after this, if you're handing your phone over to somebody, and if I want them to just stick to this themes app, okay, I go here and right on top, I push on the drop down button and I pin it. Now, no matter what they try, they will not be able to go anywhere beyond this app. And this is all that they'll be able to access in your phone. Now, once you get your phone back, how do you unpin this? Press on the back and the options button together, and your app will be unpinned and you can go back to this. Now, if you're using an iOS device, the technique is going to be different, but again, you'll have to start with the settings. So first you go to your settings, and when you hit settings, go to accessibility. Accessibility will take you to an option called guided access, which you need to turn on. Now you choose an app which you don't want the other person to go beyond. I'll open an app called InShot. Now here, what I do is I press on the home button thrice. And I see this option right up top which says start guided access. I start and I need to put in the passcode of the phone which only I know. So here we go, and guided access has started. Now beyond this point, anybody else will not be able to navigate anywhere else in your phone. This is the only app they will have access to. This is how you do it on iPhones. Now, if you want to switch this off, once you've got your phone back, press on the home button again 3 times and put in your passcode once again and end guided access. There we go, and you're back to your home screen. So you'll be safe and sound with this hack. It's very simple to do. It's available on all phones, regardless of whether it's an Apple device or an Android device, and you'll ensure that your privacy remains intact. So we received a request asking us to give this tech hack, and that's why we're presenting it to you. This is one way with which you can ensure that anybody who has your phone will not see anything beyond what you want them to see. If you want further tech hacks, write into us, leave a comment, and we will ensure that we bring another tech hack for you very soon.
Well, I can only hope that you've enjoyed the show as much as the Tech Today team has enjoyed putting it together for you. If you have, you must write into us. If you haven't, you must let us know on the Business Today, India Today handles, and of course, you can tell me as well if there's something that you didn't like. But you can also tell me if you fancied one of those robots, especially if it was Spot or Vegeta Mini, or did you like the bike? You gotta let us know what really caught your eye. Until next week, this is your host Ayush Alavadi saying adios.